Hello. Today we're going to talk about the mayor of New York, Zohran Mamdani. It's a mouthful. Um, and his alleged ties to terrorism that MAGA is talking about. Um, Welcome again to Marxisms. Like and subscribe, but do not press the notification button. Notifications are annoying. Um, Yeah, so looks like MAGA's out there wanting to denaturalize the newly elected socialist mayor of New York, um, simply because he wrote some lyrics that Zohran Mamdani is his name. Apparently, he wrote some lyrics back in 2017 in a rap song where he expresses love for the Holy Land Five, who it was found helped Hamas through charity work. Um, and it's, all that's not really super clear. And if they did, that's, like funded terrorism. If they knowingly funded terrorism, then yeah, that's fine. The thing is they did a lot of other stuff too. They did a lot of good work to help the Palestinian people and charity stuff. And I guess through that charity work, Hamas got money. I don't know if they deliberately funded Hamas, but a lot of people got upset, especially Jewish Americans like Chucky Schumer, who's just a Zionist piece of shit, just like the rest of them, just like MAGA. At least the MAGA that aren't anti-Semites. Some of them are just anti-Semites. Um, Never been a Schumer fan. Um, he's a pro-Israel tool. So anyway, okay, let's just say that did happen. Let's just say he did write some lyrics and he supports this group that supported Hamas. So he's not necessarily supporting Hamas per se, but he's supporting a group that ended up allegedly supporting Hamas materially. Okay, so they want to denaturalize this guy and then send him away. Send him, deport him to somewhere. God knows where. I mean, if they ever deport me to Ireland, please, or even Canada. I mean, I'd be happy to go to Canada. um, so, um, Here's the problem I have with this. Okay, if that's true, let's talk about the state of Israel. Let's talk about before they were the state of Israel, before the establishment of the state of Israel in 1948. Um, the uh, the groups within the Zion had Zionist paramilitaries in the mandatory Palestine during the British mandate for Palestine before it was um, Israel or Arab land, before it was Israeli land mainly. Um, they were committing acts of terrorism in order the um, to get that land. I'll go over a couple of them. The bombing of the British administrative quarters, the King David Hotel in Jerusalem in 1946, that killed 91 people. I believe that was a Menachem Begin that did that. Uh, Dur Yassin massacre, April 1948, where alongside the Lehi, which Lehi or Lehi, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but they were a paramilitary organization. They killed 170 or 107 Palestinian villagers, including women and children. Um, and The bombing of the British embassy in Rome in 1946, attacks on railways and British military airfields. Those all took place before that. Um, the Lehi or Lehi, Lohamani Harut Israeli or Stern Gang, as they were called, assassinated British minister resident in the Middle East, Lord Moin in Cairo in 1944. They used letter bombs against British officials. They carried out, of course, the King David Hotel bombing and a bombing in Cairo and Haifa train station several times. Um, uh, these are all terrorist acts that took place by Israelis, people who became Israeli prime ministers like Menachem Begin. They started out as terrorists. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about here. But anyway, so that aside, how about as a state? So as far as state terrorism goes, um, Israel is considered the original terrorist state. They committed several acts of terrorism as a state, um, including assassinations. Hang on, let's see. Let me find this real quick. Okay, I had to go find it. Apparently, I lost that one for a minute. But anyway, in 1951, 50 and 51, there were bombings all committed by Israel inside Iraq. And apparently, they were against other Israelis or other Jews. And the idea was for to create a false flag operation against them. It was a bunch of Zionists who were eventually caught and convicted of these crimes. Also, the Lavon affair in 1954, and which was also another false flag operation where a group of Egyptian Jews were recruited by the Israeli military intelligence to plant bombs inside Egypt. And the Americans and British civilians were the targets of those. And then the attacks, of course, were blamed on the Muslim Brotherhoods and communists and other people. As always, they use the same scapegoats, Islamic groups, and oh, it's the communists. It's more Red Scare. Yeah, we got a Red Scare going on here. Those communists. No, it was the Israelis. In 1954, they forced a Syrian civilian jet to land at one of their airports and basically held the passengers illegally. Let's see, there's some other stuff here. And through the 1970s and 80s, they supported military dictatorships and coups, like in El Salvador. Of course, so did we. Guatemala, Indonesia. So, I mean, we've done the same thing. They've also done the same thing against Iran, and they've been doing it lately. I mean, basically, the bombing you saw the other day by us is state terrorism against Iran. Following up the state terrorism by Israel. So let me get this straight. So if this guy wrote some lyrics about supporting a charity group that also was found to have supported Hamas, allegedly, and then but Donald Trump supports Israel and has helped them with their state-sponsored terrorism. A group of a nation we began through terrorism. The state of Israel came about because of terrorism. They've continued to commit acts of terrorism as a state player throughout their history. So does that, and then of course Trump actually commits his own act of state terrorism against the Iranians, and he's committing acts of terrorism against the American people right now. Shouldn't he be deported and denaturalized because he was born here? Of course, being born here doesn't seem to matter to him anymore. I mean, he's basically done away with the 14th Amendment and birthright citizenship. I mean, these people are just fucking hypocrites. It's just disgusting to watch this. I do not know what is the matter with Americans. Why so many of us has to be so boneheaded and because for religious fucking prejudice and racial prejudice. We side with certain people and against others. We side with terrorists. We side with dictators. We're creating a dictator here. This bullshit needs to stop. This is going to be a short video right here, but because I already did one today, but oh my God, it's just the rhetoric coming out of New York. They've been talking about it for several days now. It's like, well, they wanted to impeach him because he's a communist over an act in the 1950s that's since been thrown out in court. Because if you're a communist, you can be, have your citizenship revoked. That's such bullshit. This is the land of the free. If somebody wants to be a communist, let it be a communist. We're all entitled to our opinions, and I don't know why people are so. I mean, I do know why people are so afraid of communism. It's because they're they're brainwashed into thinking that the Soviet Union dictatorships and stuff like that. That's what communism is. That is not what communism is. That's what these people have done. That's what Marx talked about. Having dictatorships. That you had to have a dictatorship. Well, Marx is an idiot. He's not the only, to read the Communist Manifesto, that's Marx's vision. That's Marxism, not Marxism's this page. Those are just my isms. But Marxism in the form of communism is just one man's opinion. Um, when I named my page this, it was kind of a dichotomy. When I first had coined that term, as I mentioned in another video, it was a nice little play on the fact that I was a conservative and Marx was the opposite. Um, Marxism is bullshit. Leninism is bullshit. Maoism is bullshit. Finland, now there's some socialism that works. The European countries, Canada, these are market economies that have certain socialist things. We are a socialist. We have socialist um, programs and things like that here. And I know they want to do away with all that. Now, here's what Trump wants to do. And the conservatives, they want to really literally privatize everything. They want to privatize roads, railroads. They want to privatize the fire department. Yeah, all you police and fire, you think that they don't want to privatize you? They would love to privatize you. They would love to have basically BlackRock type of situation where a company owns. We already have public prison or private prisons where they're owned by a company that runs them. They're horrible places. Those should not be allowed. Privatization of all of our businesses is nonsense, and it shouldn't happen. So all you firefighters on your retirements and stuff, just think what you'd get if you were working for a private company and not the government of the United States. Just think what you would get, what your pension would be like. Oh, you probably wouldn't have one. You'd have a lowly 401k like a lot of these other suckers out there, and you wouldn't be able to retire in the glorious manner that you do, because I happen to know that they make a lot of money. They make the same amount of money in retirement that as they did when they were working. Regular workers, like my union, I didn't retire making $111,000 a year, not by any stretch of the imagination. It's much less, and it depends on how much I worked, obviously, and stuff like that. But if you think privatizing things is going to be a good idea, it's not. But that's what they want to do. But anyway, this stuff is nonsense, and it's the usual bullshit that they try to. It's another Red Scare. Oh, this guy's a communist, so he's dangerous. No, he's not dangerous because he's a communist. You're dangerous because you guys are assholes, racists, and don't really care about anybody. It's just unbelievable. If he wrote some lyrics when he was younger, so what? That doesn't how is that supporting terrorism? And he didn't even write it about Hamas. I mean, and let's talk about supporting Hamas. Who supported Hamas? Who created Hamas? Again, I know I'm going to ask you to look this up and dig deep to find it, because the AI is going to tell you something different. But Israel did. Israel has funded Hamas, and I am a firm believer that the Hamas terrorist attack was a whatchamacallit, red, what do they call them? Sorry, false flag operation. I believe that if they didn't orchestrate it themselves, the Israelis, the was it the October 7th, 2023 attack, if that wasn't a red flag operation by the Israelis, then it was probably allowed to happen by the Israelis in order to create a false flag. We already know that they've attacked and killed Jews in order to create false flag operations, both before and after they became the state of Israel. The Israelis are terrorists, and if you support them, then you support terrorism. I don't support Hamas. I support the Palestinian people and I support the Israeli people as well. I support Jewish people. I want to see them, I want to see those two countries have peace and find some common ground. They should have like a government together and learn to get along with each other. I know that's kind of hard to imagine with um, the amount of terrorism that started with Israel on both sides of this. Yeah, it started with Israel. The Israelis were the original terrorists in the Middle East, and they are the original state terrorists, state-sponsored terrorism. It's look it up. Look up your history. You're letting America support the wrong fucking people. You're ridiculous. God, get a clue, America.